if we could just be honest and say, I don't think people would bitch about taxes as much. They still would be like, I'm not paying for that shit. You know, like I don't even use that road.
Man, when we're talking about recovery too, though, I mean, we got to get that stigma away from what's going on. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that think the world's just a better place without addicts.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is, but not when they're dead.
Yeah.
Like when they're recovered.
Sure.
When they're going through recovery. That's what makes the world a better place. They still need to be here. They deserve to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we got to break down that wall a little bit and get people to understand what's going on.
Well, and I think people being less ashamed of it, you know, and I don't personally care whether anybody knows this about me or not, and I've said it on other podcasts, but you know, my father was a recovering drug addict and alcoholic my entire life, like growing up. That's not who I am. Probably because I saw maybe at times the way he was, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that for my spouse. I don't want to be that for my kids. I don't want to be that in the community. And he's not a fuck up, like at all. Like, and I love him to death. But the reality of it is that's what he was. And he'll be the first person to tell you, yep, got a 25-year patch or badge or coin or whatever they give you, and I lost it. You know, I tipped the bottle up again. Thank God it never led to drugs, but I'm back in it. I'm back in the system. And I've seen that you know, it ebbs and flows, you know, and it's happened my entire life with him. But he's not afraid to say that, you know, and I'm not afraid to say that because it's like, you know, I think that going back to that stigma conversation is like people don't want to be associated with somebody else who has a problem. It makes them look bad, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And I will say this, there's a lot of people that I've wanted to have on this podcast that they're like, oh, I don't know if I can come on there. Like it's just, maybe it's not the right fit. And I'm like, what's the real reality? Are you afraid that somebody's going to actually have to maybe know who you really are? Or you're afraid that we're going to talk for more than 5 minutes and then you finally start to calm down and settle into it and you're going to say something that's real. And then the whole thing you've built in the public face is all gone because now you're talking real to me. Yeah. It's the same stigma in a different fashion that people don't want to say, okay, well, my father was an alcoholic. Or, you know, my best friend growing up, you know, he died of a drug overdose or, you know, but I think that if people are just blunt with it and they'll realize real fast that somebody else has dealt with that same exact thing. Like they've had a father that was an alcoholic or they've had a father that was a drug addict, you know, or a mom or a dad or a brother or sister. And so I think if people just stop trying to hide from the truth, you know, even if they've messed up, even if they were the ones that used to be an addict, like you're not an addict. Like if you've stopped and you're seeking help, like maybe you always have addictive tendencies, sure. But like you cannot let your past define you, whether that's you doing something directly or other people in your family that were close to you that did something directly. Like it doesn't have to define you. And so I think getting back to that conversation of like, you know, just be open and truthful about what it is. And let's get past the stigma because these people do need help. Like 100%. They need fucking help, you know? Bad. And you said it earlier and it really did kind of strike with me because I've found myself when these 5 people in my life had died, by like the 3rd one, I just started being like, no, fucking saw that coming, you know? And like, it took me like a year to kind of get past that thought in my head and go, that was really fucked up, Kyle. Like, and I wasn't trying to not be there for them or something like that. I wasn't just trying to brush them off or, oh, they're just another addict. But it was like, in my head, I was like, well, saw that coming. It's like, why didn't I do something? You know, or why didn't the other people around that person do something? You know, so again, I think nobody wants to be associated, right? Because you feel like you're guilty by association all of a sudden. If you associate with a drug dealer, then you're a drug dealer, right? Or you're a druggie. No, not necessarily. I'm a good guy. I'm just trying to protect this dude I've known for 10 years and he fell into the wrong path. Now he's freaking, you know, down at whatever bar selling cocaine. You know, he's a good person, but he's just fallen into a bad gap, you know? And so I think if people can really get around that, it would be better.
It would be way better.